Testing, testing. Hey, Sandy. Make sure you guys can hear me. Testing, testing. Perfect. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome. I hope the lighting is okay. I kind of have the lights a little bit dimmed right now. I'm hanging in there, Sandy. How about you? But yeah, we're trying this out. I hope you guys have been well. Not sure who's going to show up because it's been a few weeks, but I'm here. Yeah. Lots to talk about today, I suppose, hey? Obviously, before we get started, I want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out over the last couple of weeks. I won't lie, it's been super hard. But, you know, all we can do is just try to keep going, so. And honestly, the less time I have to, you know, mope around the house, probably the better. The last two songs had me worried. Well, you know, my way to cope is music, and you know, I'm going through the same notions that anyone goes to when they lose someone they love, and you know, there's anger, there's pain, there's sadness, but you know, at the end of the day, like intellectually, I know, like, I'll be okay eventually, and all you can really do is feel it. And you know, I'm not like, you know, obviously I'm sad, but I'm not gonna, you know, do something dire or anything. I'm not, you know, I'm not spiraling out of control. I'm not, you know, drowning my sorrows in alcohol or like, you know, doing anything reckless. I'm just really just trying to process everything, and it's sad losing, you know, a little one like that, a little pupper. He brought a lot of joy in all of our lives, my mom, my grandmother, and myself. And it's tricky because, you know, the three of us, we all have very different ways of processing or grieving. So I think we're all just sort of doing our best to kind of let each other grieve how we want to grieve. And, you know, again, it's weird because we grieve so different. And I don't think, you know, pets in general are just such an unconditional love. And that's new territory for me, to lose someone that's, you know, loved me so unconditionally. I'm dumb, Kaiwan. But yeah, it is what it is, you know. You just do your best to pick things up and move on. But yeah, you know, I don't want to be a downer of the stream, and I want to say, like, okay, we'll get into GH a little bit, because I have been watching, you know, I didn't stop watching, you know, even through the grief. Yeah, Sandy, he was adorable. But yeah, I gotta say, General Hospital wise, show has not been very interesting. And I, you know, like, Saw you left your door. It's all good, Jake. I kind of figured. But yeah, GH has been kind of boring. Not gonna lie, it's since the Cassadine stuff ended, it's been like mind-numbingly boring, and focused on the Willow stuff and the Michael stuff and the Carly and Drew stuff. Yep, I did hear about Tyler today, and we'll talk about that too. I'm sure you guys want to know kind of my thoughts on the behind-the-scenes stuff, because there is, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes drama for sure, to be certain, between the writer's strike and Haley Poulos, of course, and Tyler Christopher. Oh yeah, song about your dog. Yeah, it's just it's just weird, because it's like it's supposed to be May sweeps, and like after the Cassadine stuff wrapped up, like the first week of May, like nothing. It's been nothing the whole time. It's all good, Brooklyn. We haven't talked about too much. I actually had to skip a couple of days of episodes, and even still I didn't miss much. I only missed one. Last Friday, I think I missed last Friday's, and I just kind of read a live thread on Soap Central instead. So, Kaiwan, I did see Spencer get all whatever with Dex about Jocelyn, but I still don't think that he's in love with her. I think that he's just like, he just hates Dex, because he wasn't complaining when Cameron was in a relationship with Jocelyn, or he wasn't, fighting for her then. He just hates Joss, or hates Dex, sorry. Gladys Singh has been a thing. I haven't been watching it this week. Yeah, Gladys hasn't really been on too much. She's, from what I saw, she's in debt with Selena again, and obviously she can't pay Selena with her own money, and Selena has been saying that she has access to Sasha's money, and Sasha is thinking of ending the conservatorship because she's in the right sound mind. That Haven show tried to sabotage Sasha, as you guys know, and it didn't work, and thank goodness for that. Because I honestly, I'm assuming that Sasha is going to be on maternity leave soon, or medical leave. So I was worried that they were just going to have her have another mental breakdown and disappear, but we'll see. Yeah, but he never acted jealous about Joss and Cameron. That's the thing. That's why I'm not convinced that, he has feelings for her. I think Gladys will turn Sunny into the police. No, I don't think so. Like, she's not very good at finding out the information. All she found, and even Gladys pointed it out, was that, his worker got a really big paycheck, which is like nothing. So Cameron is on his way next week. That's cool. Yeah, I guess they, in real time. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on Cameron's actor's name right now. But he should be done school, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm sure. You know what though? The writer's strike is on right now, and I don't think the show is gonna shoot for much longer anyway. Initially I thought like, well, it's going to be like any other writer's strike, but this one's pretty massive to the point where even live talk shows have put a complete screech on their production. That being said, I know that they're going to shoot or that GH would have scripts for a little while, and then they have to shoot that, so it'll be a couple months before GH could potentially stop, and even potentially longer if they stretch it out the way that they did when COVID hit. So we'll see what happens. What I do think though will happen to Sunny, and I would laugh if it did, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me at this point. Obviously I think the feds really want Sunny, and they are going to try to get Carly to fold on him, and Carly's going to refuse because she's Carly. However, if they force Carly's hand, I think that Carly and Sunny will end up having to marry again, so she doesn't have to testify against him. She'll sign her deal to get her off scot-free, and then she'll marry Sunny. Like, for the 9th time now, whatever it is. They should let us fans come write some episodes. Can you imagine? My goodness. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things in the behind the scenes aspect affect GH. They can't really tell me I can't really write a TV show. You can only get. Oh, did I write something? I don't know. Listen, I know we knock the writers all the time, but it's gotta be damn hard to write 200 some odd episodes a year, and just have to continue that, no breaks or anything. I feel like in the meantime they should show some classic episodes and not from just a few months to a few years ago, if the strike continues for long. See, I would like that too, but I have zero faith in that happening, because I don't know if you guys seen it, but GH I guess has an online streaming channel, I'm assuming on ABC, and it's classics, and it's from 2018 and 2019. So I'm pretty sure they're just gonna show those episodes, just the Mike storyline. That'd be great if they had to get married, all thanks to Nina. I think it would be a brilliant move, because Nina will explode and she'll have no one to blame but herself. She would have set things in motion to put this situation in Sunny's and Carly's path. And because Carly's so loyal to Sunny, she'll marry him. She'll hate it, but she'll do it. But yeah, it's that'll be funny if that happens, and then maybe I'll enjoy the story a bit more. But in the meantime, it seems like they're putting Nina into a corner that she's not going to get out of. You know what I mean? Because eventually the truth is going to come out that she's the one that turned Carly and Drew into the feds. Willow's going to be pissed off at that. Sunny's going to be pissed off at that. No one's going to want Nina around, and she'll just have to accept that. I don't know. I feel like obviously it'll be a long time before it happens, but it's going to happen. Nina's gloves are off, and I'm gonna just do whatever it takes to get my man and get my child, and it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. They don't want Carly in the show. Yeah, I think the reality of the Sunny and Nina situation is that this show has got to know that most of the fans aren't feeling it. I know that they do have some fans, but most fans just want Sunny and Carly back together. Most fans want Nina to lose and be off screen forever. So I think the writers are trying to listen to the fans. Nina's just ruining her chances to have any relationship with Willow. Love her. Love that for her. We love that for her. Yeah. Nina, you done, dug your own grave. Even Dr. O will be upset about Drew. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because Drew helped save her. So, it's a mess, and it's all Nina's fault. It was something I guess I want to give my opinion on, because I didn't really get to when everything kind of went down. Haley Poulos. And I also want to hear your guys' thoughts on the matter, because I didn't get to. Obviously, if you guys, well, I'm sure you guys know, but hey Rick, just to refresh, Haley Poulos, we knew got into some kind of car accident, and it turned out that she was driving drunk and caused a major car wreck and seriously injured someone, and got a DUI for it, and now she's I think temporarily off the show. I don't think that's changed. We haven't heard that she's off the show for good. And she's in some kind of rehabilitation. She's in rehab for it. And I don't know. It's such a polarizing subject. Because, reading opinions online, I think it's very, how do I put it? People are very unforgiving to Haley, and I totally get it. I totally do. Like, she messed up, and it's a messed up thing to do, and just based on the article on TMZ about her, how she reacted, while getting the DUI and while, trying to be rescued from the wreckage, and even, kind of sweeping it under the rug when she said she got in a car wreck, and then all this coming out after the fact. Yeah, exactly. I figured you guys knew the details as well, so I wasn't going to get into it, but yeah, I think she had a hit and run, and she caused a car crash on a highway, and she fought with the fire department, fought with the hospital staff, told them not to touch her $400 shirt. Just very, very entitled personality or entitled reactions. You said my father was killed by a drunk driver on Christmas Eve when I was 15. Oh, I'm sorry, Sandy. So my take on the whole thing, what she did was terrible, and she needs to pay for it, and she needs... Listen, from my point of view, I'm not convinced rehab is what she needs, because we don't know, if she drinks often or if this was a one-off. It just seems like I got caught and now I'm going to go to rehab for my punishment. You know what I mean? Because there are people that aren't alcoholics that, have driven drunk and, stupidly and got into a wreck and ruined someone's life. So, it just seems like a show face situation, you know what I mean? And right down to the paparazzi, papping her, going to rehab, being driven by her dad, and it's this really rehab spa. It's $2,500 to go to, and her dad's driving there in their nice car, and it just seems so cringe. It seems so cringe. There's also people that want her to be fired from her job at GH. I'm not one of them, because I don't believe that she's a raging alcoholic. I think she's young and stupid. What she did was stupid. There's no way around that. but Molly is so on so little that like it just seems a bit ridiculous to fire her for like something that happened in her personal life. With that said, I do think that she should willingly quit on her own. I don't think she should be fired. I think she should quit on her own and like get whatever help she needs, because like like who does that and who acts like that? I think probably just regular therapy. Like, girl needs someone to teach her to be humble and to not act like a pretentious, like, I don't even know. I like rich and snobby and entitled. I hate people like that. It's like, that's what I think she needs therapy for. Never mind, you know, drinking rehab. I mean, maybe she is an alcoholic. I don't think so, though. I think she just parties a little bit because she's young and she made a stupid ass mistake. And she needs to check herself, you know, mentally. Hey, Jacarius. I'm hanging in there. Yeah. She is in the rehab to the stars on the beach. Of course. We watched her grow up and she is like family. Yeah, you know, that's the reality. Like, well, the thing is, what I think a lot of us forget is that we've watched a character grow up on our screen. We don't really have much, you know, we don't really have a scope into her real life, apart from like the interview that she did with Maurice on State of Mind and like her Instagram posts. And like, yeah, she clearly likes to party, but like, who didn't in their early 20s? So I can't judge her drinking based off of that, because even in my early 20s I drank like a fish. I don't drive, first of all, so I wouldn't be able to drink and drive, but I can definitely say that some of my friends have, and they regretted it. They never got into accidents, thankfully, but you know, they realized that it was stupid. I just think that, like, I don't know, I just wonder how she's mentally dealing with the situation, because obviously she's trying to show face online, but we don't know, you know, how this really affected her. I mean, at the time she was still drunk when she got into that wreck, and that probably explained at least her attitude when she was drunk. But, you know, the aftermath, I gotta wonder, like, how she thought. Maybe she thought that she had to, like, just quietly be like, I need to be off the show for a bit because I got in an accident and didn't want anyone to find out. But unfortunately, you know, public knowledge, when things like that happen, it comes out. Oh, and thank you, Nathan. I appreciate it. I also hope Tyler gets all the help he needs to. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. Yeah, Tyler, well, we didn't really talk. We mentioned that we knew what happened to Tyler, but for those that don't know, Tyler Christopher, aka OG Nicholas, was arrested. He was drunk in an airport, and so obviously he's off the wagon, which is unfortunate. And, you know, I hope that he gets the help he needs to. You know, we know for sure, because Tyler has been open, that he does struggle with alcohol addiction. And, you know, anyone with addiction, you can put it down for a while, but there's always a chance that it can come back up. Anything can trigger it, and I'm assuming something did, and hopefully he gets help again. And that's all I can say about it, really. You know, we know the situation with Tyler, and we know that he's struggled with it. He's been very open and honest about it. And this is just, unfortunately, another time that he's struggled. So it is what it is. Brooklyn, you said no to the new Christina. She needs to take a chill pill. Overreacting, not cool. But I have to say the new Molly is much better, in my opinion. You know what I find about... Yeah, I guess we can talk about the recast, because obviously both Lexi and Haley have been recasted. The timing was obviously coincidental, but... what was I going to say? I find... Okay. My first initial thought with new Christina, and I'm sorry I don't know the actresses' names, but if you guys can let me know, thanks, I'd appreciate it. But the actress that plays Christina now, sounds a lot like Lexi, looks really different. The actress currently playing Molly looks and kind of sounds like Molly too. So I don't know. It's still early days yet, obviously. Kind of the wild thing was Haley's last scenes as Molly with TJ kind of dealing with processing her condition. It's probably the best work that Haley's ever done. Like, she killed it, I thought, in those scenes. And then, of course, the next day we had new Molly. So, it's damn unfortunate. Freaking unfortunate, dude. Molly's character started, I believe, when she was 7. Yeah, she was a youngin'. She was just a little girl. Nathan, you said, I was disgusted with all the headlines when it came to Tyler and mocking what happened to him. Journalism at its finest. Even some people were comparing the two situations with that and Haley, which is wrong. I agree that it's wrong. And like I said, we know Tyler's situation. I didn't read all the headlines, I'll be honest. I think I saw it on ABC in depth. And I think TMZ might have reported it as well, but I didn't read the whole article there either. I just read like essentially what happened. He was arrested in an airport for being drunk. But again, we know what Tyler's going through. We don't really know what the situation is with Haley beyond. All we know for sure is that she drove drunk and caused an accident, handled it poorly on social media, and has checked herself into like a really rich and savvy rehabilitation center. But I suppose if you have the money, you're not going to go to like some weird dumpy one, right? But I don't know. Again, I just don't think that rehab is her answer. I don't know if she's a drunk either. I just think that she's a party animal and she needs to check herself. Yeah, let them go to rehab and be okay. Yeah, like, let them do what they need to do. Like, we know, like, Tyler, he's fallen before, he's picked himself back up, he can do it again. Haley, this is new territory. We don't know the whole shebang about her life. We don't know that she struggles with alcoholism. We just know that she caused a drunken driving accident in her early 20s. And again, all I say to that is people are calling for her to get fired from the show, and I don't think that's right. But I do think that she should quit the show and get some help, get some therapy, and like humble herself a little bit. That's all. If she chooses not to, then that's her choice, and she's probably gonna have to deal with the turmoil from people watching her. I'm sure, like, we only seen her, I think, on screen once or twice since the news got out about what happened with her. But like, I'm assuming, and again, I'm not on Twitter, but I'm assuming that anytime that girl's on screen, there's probably a lot more people coming for her and calling for her to be kicked off the show. I'm assuming. I haven't really checked into much, on the internet, because I've just been kind of, trying to process my own grief. So, but I'm assuming, because that's just what Twitter does. That's what's been happening. Yeah, we have no idea. Yeah, that's the reality, Kaiwan. We don't really know anything about Haley to be like, she needs rehab, but like, based on what we do know, she needs to just get herself some help, whatever that means for her. I don't think, based on what we know, that rehab is the answer. But, it is what it is. And sorry, I missed something one of y'all said earlier. I have to... Okay. Sandy, you said we have to give them both a chance. Yes, I agree. Jake, you said Haley's on vacation, basically. Get real help, girl. Face consequences. Yes. She needs to deal with the consequences of her actions. I don't think rehab is the answer, but she needs to deal with the consequences of her actions. You're right. Nathan, you said, anyway, like your title says, there's been more drama off screen than on screen, which is ironic. GH these days is just dreadful, despite some storylines alike. Yeah, it's been so boring on screen. Although today's episode, mad kudos to Rael Andrews, who plays Taggart. Oh my God, he broke my heart today. How do I feel about the new Christina? I think you missed it. All I said, Jakari, is she sounds like Lexi to me, but she looks nothing like her, so it's gonna take me a minute to get used to her. But she seems like a good actress. Well, like she seems older, but really because Lexi looks young, but she's also playing her like immaturely as well, because Christina is kind of immature. So it's throwing me off a little bit. She looks more mature than she's acting, and that's kind of jarring a little bit. But again, we've seen literally 2 episodes of her. So I'm again, like every recast that has ever been on GH, and there's been a lot, I always try to give them a fair chance, and I don't hate it so far, Rael did a great job in those scenes, but I felt so bad for Taggart. I did too. Now, my question to you guys, because obviously the last couple of weeks we had seen Selena like offering to rig the DNA test, and I think probably collectively, if we were talking about it, I think that we would have thought that Selena would have changed the results. Oh, even you said it, Nathan. Sorry, I missed that. But yeah, like I feel like collectively we probably all would have assumed that she would change the results to make Taggart the real father, to try and convince Curtis to like leave and be around the WSB, and she can use that against him in some way. That was my initial thought. But the fact that the results show that Curtis is the father, I'm either it doesn't. I'm trying to think of if Selena rigged the test, what her motive would be to make Curtis the father, when she seemed to be pushing for the opposite, or like it seemed implied that she was like wanting the opposite to happen. My only guess is that if Selena rigged the test to make Curtis the father and not Taggart, would be maybe she wants to keep Curtis close so that she can still have her games in his club. And like she doesn't want him to sell the club, because then obviously whoever owns it next, she might not be able to blackmail in the same way or use in the same way. What will be a serious storyline in General Hospital? No, who is Curtis gonna not beautiful and I'll be the father? What? Sandy, you said, I don't think it was tampered with Curtis. You are the father. Yeah, it's just like, why would they make all the effort to have Selena put the offer out there and act so devious when he left, Like, it's weird that they put that in there when they didn't have to. Like, that aspect of the story, like, something has to move somewhere in that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What I do want from the story, and I know for damn sure we're probably not going to get it because we never see him, I want to see Taggart really struggle with this and go through this on screen. Like, maybe he goes down a bad road and turns to alcohol himself or something, Because, like, even watching the scene today, like, even before the elevator scene, like, just before he left, he's so good that you could see him, like, falling apart, but trying to not show it to Trina. And it was so subtle, but it was so good. Like, props to Rael, man. Like, holy shit, he's good. Portia looked like she wanted to jump up and down. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what Portia would have really wanted the outcome to be. Like, I think all Portia's probably thinking is like how my little girl is going to react to this. And, Trina held her ground. She said what she needed to say before opening the results. She says, no matter what, Taggart will be my dad, and Curtis, I'm not looking to replace my father, but I care about you. Like, she laid it all out there, and that's why I love Trina. She's just matter of fact, and she's being honest and just laying her cards on the table. And I think a big part of that is because she respects and loves both Curtis and Taggart, and she knows that people will get hurt, and I'm sure that she's picked up on the fact that Taggart will be hurt, because she probably knows her father real well. Like, she knows when he's probably covering for himself, and he's obviously been putting up a brave front. He put up a brave front when the truth came out that he might not be, and he also put up a front at the hospital the whole time, knowing that the DNA test results were in and waiting for Curtis, and even, being strong enough to say, hey, it could be worse, and Curtis is one hell of a guy to get as your father. And I think he was being sincere in his words saying that too. So it's just that, of course, it would be soul crushing, yeah, she'll always be his daughter in his mind mentally, but like, finding out that she's not biologically, that's gonna hurt a little bit. But yeah, we'll see where the storyline goes from there. Anything else you guys want me to say my piece on like anything that we've missed over the last couple weeks? Again, I feel like not a whole lot happened. It was just really the recast came in, and storyline wise, everything's kind of going nowhere, essentially. Like, Nina went wild and took her gloves off, and now she's gonna pay the price probably eventually, and then beyond that, the Willow and Michael stuff has moved in snail speed. Like, obviously there is a process with, like, going through the procedure and healing, but it's been it's been a slow burn, and it's been a slow, like, drizzle. There's nothing exciting about it. Portia has the family she always wanted. Now get rid of Stella before she makes her usual trouble. I mean, there's not much else Stella can do, is there? All of Stella's mistakes have come out, I think, by now, right? Well, the only thing that hasn't come out is that Curtis is not aware, and nobody is aware, I think, except for Jordan. Curtis is not aware that Stella was the one who caused their divorce not to go through initially. And so maybe, I don't know, what would happen from that? I mean, since he's kind of going back and forth on his feelings for Jordan a little bit, like, maybe, what was I going to say? Maybe he'll be mad about it because, they weren't divorced. And if he had known that, maybe he wouldn't have given her a second chance. Who are we kidding? He wouldn't have given her a second chance, even if he knew that Stella was the reason why they didn't get divorced, because he was in love with Portia, and he was over Jordan until Portia hurt him, and then, of course, like the dog that he can be. Hey, Albert. As the dog that Curtis can be, he tried to make a move on Jordan, and Jordan didn't hate it because she obviously still has feelings for Curtis. But she did encourage him to work out his feelings for Portia and don't just leave her. Like, try to work on that, Thank you, Albert. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a hard few weeks. I'll be honest, guys. Like, I've cried every single night since my dog died. Like, it's hard. It's hard. Losing someone that you love so unconditionally like that. But I'm just doing my best to carry on, and like I said earlier, it's, there's 3 of us in the house that all really loved him, but we're all grieving in very different ways. My mom and grandmother are religious, and I'm not really. So they're coping with, like, the Rainbow Bridge and the afterlife and heaven and this and that, and I don't know. I don't really think I believe in heaven and hell and things like that. I do believe in ghosts, just based on some like stuff in the past. But I don't know. Beyond that, I can't really, I can't relate to how they're coping. And my mom, of course, she wants pictures of George all over the house. So now there's pictures of George all over the house, and I'm just, it's hard for me to look at pictures. It's really like it kills me. And being in the house as well, like, I'm surrounded by every room that he's ever been in. Anytime I look on the floor here in the basement, and I just think about the times that he's come down here, and then go up into the kitchen. I think of him scratching the door to get out and go to the washroom outside, and go to the living room. I see the stump that he always loved to sit on, or the windowsill, sorry. And there was a thunderstorm tonight. I just think about all the times he gets so scared when there's thunderstorms. So like everywhere is a memory. Coming home from work, he'll see me walking from a block away, and he'd wag his tail when he's seen me. Am I still moving? I mean, obviously, at this point, and thanks, Angel, by the way. At this point, everything's up in the air. Kind of the worst aspect of my dog getting sick and having to put him down, like, just to find out what was wrong with him was like $500, and to put him down and get him cremated and stuff was like another $500. That's $1,000 right there down the drain, and that's like all my savings. So if I do move, it's obviously postponed for a while, and everything in me wants to kind of run away and go to Montreal, because that was always kind of like my coping mechanism before. Like when life got hard, I would just go to Montreal and just forget about it all for a little while. But I think that's a dangerous road to go on. So growth for me, I can give my props to myself in that way, for not wanting to run straight to Montreal. It also helps that I can't afford to at the moment, but I think even if I could, I don't know, it's just one of those things where like I should be kind of facing things head on like I am, instead of running away and turning a blind eye to this immense loss that all of us are dealing with. I talk about my relationship with the dog, but we all had our own relationships with him too. Like, he slept in my mom's bed. He every night. So and my grandmother, when me and my mom are at work, she's with him the entire day. So it's changed all of our lives. Like, it's awful. It's so awful. And we've the first few days, I was bawling my eyes out. We all were. And now I try to do it a bit more discreetly, because I don't like to be coddled. Like, I don't like to be, when I'm sad, I just want to be left alone. And so, like, realistically, I have not seen any of my friends. I haven't hung out with any of my friends. Obviously I have to go to work, and I see my coworkers, and overall I think they at least know that I don't want to be coddled, because they have me on Facebook and stuff. They know how my mind is, I guess. And I think obviously my friends do too, but all my friends are musicians, and they all wear their hearts on their sleeves. They would hold me tight and never let me go and cry with me, and I just I've had to avoid that, because I cry enough, y'all. I cry enough. All right, but let's get out of the personal stuff and back to GH. Thanks for letting me speak about that, guys. Appreciate it. And I'm sorry for your uncle too. With George, we only had him for 3.5 years, and he was a 10-year-old dog, and we thought we at least had a couple months, couple years left with him. All right, but yeah, back to GH. Despite the current writing of GH, we got the writer strike, but sometime this summer we should get announcement of the alternative head writer for GH. Anything is better than what we're getting now. There might not be an alternative though, because this writer strike is a different breed, and I know that we talked about it in the past. I was basing it on previous writer strike, but this is to the point where every show has essentially stopped production. And and the actors of the show, they're right there in the sort of rallies with the writers. Even some of the GH actors have been out there with the writers. Brooklyn, you said Trina shouldn't move in with Jocelyn because she's always at Dex's place, especially Spencer and Dex don't get along. It wouldn't be wise to say Ava dealing with Nicholas' disappearance. True. Yeah, I think Trina's just gonna have to suck it up and move back in with her family, because it's gonna be awkward if Trina does move into Joss's house. You're right, she spends most of her time at Dex's house now. Brooklyn said, "What's up with Montreal?" I think the only right thing to do at the moment is postpone, because one of the things I wanted to do before moving to Montreal was kind of get myself out there, put my single out, do a couple of shows and see what happens. And obviously my life kind of went to a screeching halt, so obviously the single's been postponed a bit. The ball is rolling. Like I said, the single's done. You guys may have heard it on one of the streams before. But my original plan, like when I told you about how my friend Amber was going to do the artwork for it. The location that we were going to shoot the album artwork for was right next to where we took George for the dog park. So I can't even bring myself to go there. Like, I can't. So I have another friend who's really good at digital artwork, doing something for me instead. And Sandy, seeing your friends and getting a big hug would help, and I'm sending you a big hug, Dion. I'm honestly going to try to for the first time on Friday, so wish me luck with that. I'm worried, but I'm going to do it just because, sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. Angel said, do you want to talk about the behind-the-scenes stage drama or the drama in the show? Well, Angel, you kind of missed out. We talked about Haley and Tyler, the recasts, the writer strike. I think we've covered all the backstage drama as far as I know, unless there's more that I'm not aware of. And then there really is no drama on the show, right? And we've talked about that too. Like, there's not a whole lot going on screen. Obviously, we had Victor's will reading today, which is honestly the most interesting it's been in months, and yesterday too as well. Not in months, since the Cassadine stuff wrapped up originally, which is like the first week of May. But I don't have too much to say on the Victor will reading, because it was about as sarcastic as I thought it would be. Like, it reminded me of Helena's will reading, and I figured that that's how it would go. Hey DG, yeah, we already talked about that earlier. We said what we needed to say. In short, I'm rooting for Tyler to pick himself up and get a help again. And that's that on that. Like, he fell off the wagon, and it happens with people with addiction, and all he can do, and I'm sure that he will, because he's done it before, is check himself back into rehab and get help and try to recover again. Let's hope the writers come back fresh with some good stories. I hope so too. It just sucks that it's happening on the 60th year too. Like, bad timing. Yeah, DG, I'm right there with you. I've been bored since the end of the Iceland caper. Ken Schreiner has been written off the show. Well, I don't know about... Listen, Ken Schreiner has said this multiple times, and every time he's said it, he's come back like 2 months later. And I feel like that's just exactly what's happening here. Like, he'll be back. Because, you know, right now, like, he's looking into the Ice Princess thing with Cody. So, like, I'm sure he'll just, like, leave town to go look for a way that he can take advantage of that. And then he'll be back, probably in the fall. That's my guess. I take anything Ken says with a grain of salt. That Will reading was a waste of time. Y'all, Victor gave them a statue of a middle finger. A middle finger piece of a statue. I feel like the tarot cards mean something that Victor gave Sam. Yeah. I feel like one of those is gonna be a ticking time bomb for maybe Drew. Or maybe Dante, because, like, you know, Dante was controlled by a clicking pen, but it could be a tarot card too. Jakey said Helena gave Alexis the dagger she used to slit her mother's throat. Yep. That was a Cassadine Will reading right there. True. Yeah, but didn't Helena also give Sam a penny or something? They always jerk Ken around. He gets written off and then rehired, etc. Well, I mean, he's reoccurring. He's not on contract. Like, they can have him come and go as much as they want to. Could Spencer had received a Cassadine ring? I mean, he could have, but he didn't. He just got those 2 doves, which I think... Was that not the gift that Victor gave Spencer to give to Trina back when he was in jail? Am I right? We need Scott for his humor. Yeah, Scott's funny. How do I like Molly? New Molly and New Christina. I like New Christina. New Molly looks way older. I think the opposite, Angel. I think Christina looks way older than Lexi, but that's just because Lexi looks really young. And I think the actress that plays Molly, she's like taller, but I don't think she necessarily looks older, and she sounds like Haley too. So, like, I'm only jarred in the sense that, like, new Christina looks older, and the fact that Christina is a bit of an immature character, it's weird seeing someone that looks mature act immature. And that's what I said earlier on that. Who knows, those cards may lead to Sam to Jason. I mean, if they're gonna recast him again, then sure. If there's any story to come from that will, it will be at the house Spencer was given. Yeah, I agree. I am very curious as to what the hell Victor did to Anna, because she was arrested by the WSB, and in the preview she's like, I will bring the WSB down with me. So I have to wonder, what the hell did Victor do to Anna? And then I'm suspicious as to Victor just telling Laura that you were a worthy adversary and you won, and that's that. Like, I don't know what to make of that. Something's off. But maybe, you know, since technically, I think that he maybe, I don't know. Maybe he knew that Laura would go to that property because she wouldn't let Spencer go on his own. But beyond that, I'm very suspicious. Cyrus gave the doves to Spencer. How did Victor get them then? How did Victor get them? And then I just want Esme to get her dang memory back. I'm tired of the amnesia. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I will say, whether she gets her memories back or not, she does seem to have her manipulative trait there, and like, you know, acting all whatever, but then at the same time, like, well, this, and this, which is very classic Esme. I mean, you know, I guess the reality of amnesia can really react in any way, and like, even though she has no memories right now of what she's done in the past, it doesn't mean that her personality traits won't come through in some way. Jake, you said Laura thinks Nicholas is possibly in Chechnya or whatever. But we all know that Mason has him. That will be a waste for her. Yeah, it's true, but there's got to be something in that house for Victor to just simply hand that over to Spencer and Nicholas. I read it had something to do with her past as a double agent when it comes to Anna. Yeah, but Anna's shady past has always been out there, and she's paid for it too. Like, they basically tried to kill her and Robert in that explosion back in the day in the 90s, right? And they probably all thought that she was dead for a while, and then obviously when she showed up in Pine Valley, they probably found out too, but like, why now, you know? Do you think they're gonna write something for Bobby? Oh, absolutely they will. Without the writers going on though. So I mean, eventually, yes, they will. I think that the writer's strike is obviously gonna push things back a lot. But you know, just like when Sonia Eddy died, like, it took almost half a year, or no, 4 or 5 months before we got to see Epiphany's funeral, because they have to somehow fit it into a year that they have already had sort of things planned out. So it might just take a little bit longer, but we will eventually have a tribute for Jackie Zeman for sure. Sandy said Victor stole them that the night Rory told Trina he loved her. Spencer left them on the table. Victor took them. Oh. Okay. And DG said the bomb on the ship was meant to kill Robert, Anna, and Faison. The WSB thought Anna and Robert went rogue. Okay. Well, but they knew her. Did they not? The WSB knew her past as a double agent. Did they not? Jakey said, did you happen to see Jackie Zeman's podcast with Stone Cold and Jackal? Yes, I did. I did watch it. I mean, I had heard it before. This was just the first time that they showed the video footage of it. But I used to listen to, like, Stone Cold and the Jackal podcast when it was just audio. And Jackie's interview was one that I heard, but obviously it had been a few years. So hearing that again was really nice, too. And getting to see a bit of it, too, on screen was cool. I don't know why people liked a lot about AI. Yes, that's why they didn't trust Anna. Anna betrayed both Robert, Sean, and her country. Yeah, but so that's been out in the open for decades, though. So, like, why now? Why now? If this is tied to Anna being a double agent, why now are they going after her? Is it just did Victor just like pay them a shit ton of cash because they haven't cared. They've had her working as like WSB, but like, you know, based in Port Charles, I guess. But yeah, I mean, at this point, the WSB now has been written as like a much more shady establishment. I don't think it was written as shady as it is now. Oh, you're talking about AI, Kaiwan? I do want to kind of give my thoughts on that, actually, since he brought it up, even though like I didn't think it would come up in like GH. Listen, I'm low-key enjoying like the music. It's so wild that they're like able to have like for instance, like the voice of, what was the biggest one, the Drake and The Weeknd doing a completely new song, but it wasn't actually them, but it sounds exactly like them. And then there's you know, a lot of people are making Britney Spears ones because obviously she's probably not going to do music anymore, but it's interesting hearing her sing like cover songs, and I'm sure people will probably work on like original songs too. I say her like they're a real person, the AI, whatever AI thing they used. With that said though, that shit is kind of scary. Like, I just, you know, there does have to be laws because, you know, someone could just drop a song that sounds kind of like Britney Spears onto Spotify, but like, I don't think there's a law against that yet, as long as they call the artist something else, and then she just sounds like it, you know? It's like Black Mirror shit. And then, yeah, exactly, Angel. AI could replace a lot of jobs, and that's scary to think about. And it's going to take the creativity out of everything. And, like, the one thing that I think about, just, like, knowing the music industry a little bit, like, if an artist is under a contract to, like, have a certain amount of albums out in a certain amount of years, and if the artist is trying to rebel against that soundtrack, what's to stop the record company from just doing up an album with AI and releasing it, and then, like, you know, suing the artist if they say anything about it? Like, there does have to be laws for sure. In the beginning, the WSB was above board when Robert was first introduced, but since Valentini and Carlivati took over, the WSB is totally corrupt. Heck, they had Victor as the head of it. Yeah, like, that's what threw me too. Like, when they started, like, when they initially were bringing the WSB back into the show, I was kind of stoked, and then, like, it was this corrupt thing, and I was like, what? Yeah, it makes me mad, because, like, this, you know, all the WSB storylines that I've watched on YouTube over the years, they were all kick-ass cool, and, you know, it was really the good guys, you know, going against the bad guys, and now it's just the bad guys are running the show, and it's frustrating. Oops. Okay. They're using AI to take McDonald's orders? Dang. Sandy said I can't take much more of Joss. Yeah, Joss today was just like, yeah, just throw Sonny under the bus. You know, I mean, honestly, like, Michael could technically hand the evidence over to Sonny, or not to Sonny, to Carly, and it would be up to Carly whether to use it or not. And then he can kind of get off scot-free when it comes to Willow's request for him not to turn his father in. Record company can forget a human artist and just have AI artists only. Never have to worry about a PR nightmare. Yeah, that's true. It's like, it is scary, and it sucks that it's affecting art and not things that would actually like help us in the long run. Like, art is like a creative outlet, and like, you know, they could be using AI for things that will like make our lives easier, but they're not. They're just getting rid of jobs for people and making it harder for people to live. So that part sucks. One like AI thing that I've seen is like they're able to take a picture like that's like, you know, that you've only ever seen like close up, and then like create around it so that it looks like it's in a larger space. That stuff's insane. Like, I could, like, you guys could, like, if I were to take a screenshot of me now, like, AI could just create the rest of my body and the space around me that you can't see in like seconds. That's crazy. Nathan, you said Joss is so thirsty for Sunny these days, it's not even funny. Hold on, I missed some stuff too. Oh, DG, you said Carlivati had no idea what he was writing, which is weird because he also watched the show in 1978. The WSB was introduced in 1981. That dude just wants to write the show how he wanted to write the show, though. He didn't care what was, you know, what was canon. He didn't care about character integrity, storyline-wise. He didn't care about plot holes. It was like watching a really bad fan fiction when Carlivati wrote the show. DG said, I love Joss. She is smart-mouthed and a total attitude. I also love Eden McCoy as an actress. She has grown so much. She's such a good biatch. Listen, I think Eden McCoy is a talented actress too, and she has grown a lot. I just think, like, I don't know. She has a vendetta against Sunny. Less so now because of what he did to Carly, more so now because Dex is under his thumb. Like, by his own choice, by the way. And like, she barely knows the guy, you know? She's just riding him. Alright. Spencer needs to learn how to fight while he's bulking up. Couldn't get a mark on Dex. Man, Nicholas is hella fit, you guys. It's insane. That guy has a body on him. And, like, arguably, like, a much, you know, bulkier, stronger looking body than Dex. And that's not to bring down Dex either. Because dude has a body on him, too. But I feel like Spencer is more, like, buff. Kaiwani said, you know, my mother used to be a train conductor assistant on the phone back when they used to have a change text to say to go where to go to church on the train way back in the 80s. Dang. Yeah, technology is always changing. I just hope that, like, it doesn't make creative people lazy. Because, like, you know, we're already at a point where, like, you don't even have to really be able to sing good to become a musician. And you also don't even have to be good live, because there is now technology that can auto-tune you live, you know? Like, it's wild, and you're never gonna get, like, another powerhouse if this is the way that we continue to go. It's not real talent anymore. I mean, there are talented people out there, but, like, it's not as on demand as long as you can create a song with a decent beat and, you know, all that stuff. It's like, you know, that's all people need these days. And the songs, they don't have to be like 4 minutes. They can be like 2 minutes and 5 seconds now, because attention spans have gotten that short. Spencer's a punk. He can't fight. He got beat down like a little bitch on that boat. He tried. Yeah, Carlivati wanted to create his own show. Exactly. I like anyone who doesn't like Sunny. I am so tired of Sunny. Listen, I'm tired of Sunny too, okay? Like, I as big of a fan as I am of Maurice and what he does away from GH. I'm so sick of Sunny. I've been sick of Sunny since the early 2000s, okay? Like, 2008, I was already over him. Yeah, you've been tired. You're probably around the same, around the same time as me. Dex is taller. I don't know how Nick Chavez got built so fast. A few months ago, he wasn't anywhere near that muscular. He would take off his shirt and there would be no definition. Now he's jacked. I think it seemed like, you know what's weird is that I noticed between episodes, and I think there was probably like, you know how they go dark? There was like, between episodes, he went from like skinny to suddenly filling the shirt way more than he did in the previous episode, and I was like, whoa. But you know, like, maybe he worked his ass off. Who knows? Maybe he got a trainer because he can afford one now. You just have to have the look to be an artist. Yeah, that's the reality. Now it's all about, it can be about the look and, you know, what you bring to the stage. Like, if you have what it takes to put on a show, and that doesn't necessarily mean be a good singer, but if you can create chaos on the stage and make people want to watch, then that's like half the battle. And, you know, more technology there is, it's going to be most of the battle. Anyone can practically become a music star. It's all created and canned. Joss has only known Dex a few months, yet she is willing to throw the man who raised her under the bus for some D. Yeah, it's something you can write down, like somebody's, yeah. 2-minute songs crack me up. You know, DG, I always just look for the extended versions on YouTube that fans create now, because I want more. Sonny is brain dead. Seriously, I want Maurice to retire. No offense to him, but I want the character gone. You know, I think Maurice is almost there, because he's kind of alluded to, like, he's at peace now. He doesn't need to do this. He just does it because he can. So I think it's only a matter of time before he does. And then we'll never hear the end of, like, when he finally decides to. It's gonna be Sunny for like the Sunny for the entire year leading up to his retirement. And then hopefully they let him go out with a bang, though. Because, like, you can't leave the mob. He's got to die. They got to kill the character. Character has more than run his course. Again, no offense to Maurice, because I like him, but I just can't stand the character. Valid. Maybe Steve Burton told him how to work out. Do Steve and Nick even know each other? Nick probably got a personal trainer who came to his home and got really serious. Yeah, I think that is the case. And he's still in his early 20s, so could put on muscle fast. Exactly. Spencer looked so good in that song. I almost forgot he is 20 and he is so yummy. Yeah, Nick is hot. Miss Wu is going to wreck Port Charles when Sunny is gone. I'm excited for that, you know? When Selena Wu can take over the mob aspect, that I'll have fun to watch. Maurice has so many kids and grandkids. So I'm sure his family has their hand out for money. He has his own ranch with tons of animals. I've seen that. Yeah, but you know what? He's retired. Like, he probably has more than enough money to retire. And he's going to leave stuff for his family when he eventually, you know, passes away. He's far from that, I would hope. You know, sort of something happening. But, like, his kids will be fine whether he's, you know, on GH or not. The dude has worked for, like, 30 years on the show almost. So, it's crazy. All right, guys, what time is it? It's almost 11. Jeez, I did not know I was on for that long. I was gonna do a short one just to like ease into it. Nick did Stephen Brad's show. They've interviewed him, but they like, you know, doesn't mean that they're friends. If I were writing, Miss Wu would take over Sunny's territory and dethrone Sunny. That'd be great. I'd like to see that. But yeah, guys, I didn't realize it was so late. Thank you, by the way, again, just for your patience. Like, it's still hard. I'm still going through it, and probably when I end the stream, I'm gonna, you know, sit in my kitchen. I do that every night, you know, like with my dog, like every single night that he was around and in this house, I would just sit on the floor in the kitchen with him, and I'd just hold his face and say, "Oh, you're so loved. Mama loves you, and Nanny loves you, and I love you. You're such a lucky boy, and I hope you know that. Just know that every day." Every single day I did that. Every single day when my mom and grandmother would go to sleep. So, you know, it's hard to break that habit to just sit in the kitchen and just kind of, you know, hope he's there with me. And, you know, even now, like, I carry his collar with me to work. You know, I have it in my bed when I go to sleep. I have it right here beside me, actually, too. You know, first stream, just, like, be there for me. You know, it's hard. Sorry about your poor dog. My puppy was killed by a hit. Oh, that's so awful. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, this is... Haven't had a dog since. See, that's where I'm at, DG. Like, George was my first dog. He's my first dog. And I can't picture me having another one. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys before, but I did not want a dog. This is... My mom wanted a dog, and the reason why I didn't want a dog is because of what I'm going through right now. I was like, I know that I will fall in love with that dog, and that we're gonna inevitably outlive him, and it's gonna crush me. And here we are. You know, it's crushing me, and I cry every night, and it's rough. It's awful. Oh, it sucks. But yeah, like, I can't see me getting a dog ever again either. My mom, I think she's open to it, but I don't want one, and I hope that she listens to me. And my grandmother doesn't want one either. No, me and my grandmother are in that boat. It was hard. Like, I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I will probably cry if I do. But like, the day that we had to put him down, oh my God, you guys, that was the hardest thing that I had to go through in my entire life. Because, you know, we were in the room with him when it happened, and, like, every now and then, like, I'll just be, you know, laying in bed or, like, watching TV, and I'll just have a flash of, like, the, you know, his final breath, and it just breaks me down instantly. It's not about guilt. It's not about guilt, DG. It's literally just like the amount of pain is just too much. Like, and I didn't want to go through it even before I had George. And I've never had a dog before, but I knew that when, you know, because obviously it's inevitable that the dog's gonna pass before you anyway. I knew it would crush me, and like, so it's like, I don't regret the time that I had with George. I wish it was longer, and of course I have regrets in the sense of the things that we didn't get to do, and we had lots of plans for him because we knew he was getting older because he had arthritis. So we had big plans for the summer, and now that's just all gone. So like, it hurts. It hurts a lot, but like, you know, it's sad. Most dogs don't live to 20 years. That's no time in a lifespan. It goes so fast. My dog was 10 and we only had him for 3.5 years. So, you know, like, advanced diabetes is what got him, and like, there was no signs until like the day that I did the Jackie Zeman stream. Like, he got sick the day before, and then 4 days later we had to put him down, like, out of nowhere. Oh, and that's what made it harder. Like, even having to see him suffer the way that he was suffering, like, leading up to it was sad. And like, even the morning of, like, because we had to put him down like later in the afternoon, like he was just sitting outside in the backyard looking, so at peace. And like, I'd be on the steps, on my back steps, and I'd be breaking down in tears. And he was so weak, but when he'd see me crying, he would just come up right beside me and just sit by me as if he was trying to comfort me. And that crushed me too. So like, brutal. I never want to experience the sheer pain that I'm feeling now ever again. So that's where I'm at mentally with that. Yeah, you can take nothing for granted. It's really true. Don't believe dogs have an immortal soul, but I do believe that because God loves us and he knows we love our pets, that he will resurrect them for us in the afterlife. I don't know. I mentioned earlier, I'm not very religious, DG. So, but I do kind of believe in ghosts, and that's just based on encounters like that. I've seen people that did not believe in ghosts experience an encounter with a ghost that shook them to their core and like changed their whole thing. And like, I don't know if I don't know if I want to read into it too much, but the first day that I went back to work, after George passed, when I tried to close the door, something was blocking it, but there was nothing there. And like, anytime I went to work, I had to get George out of the way. So it like, it scared me for a second. And that's why like, even now I just sit in the kitchen, like maybe he's there with me. I don't know for sure, but I think it also, I don't know if it's bad or good, but like, I'm really trying to force myself to just kind of sit with the grief. So, like, I think it's, even though it hurts, I think it's better to face it than to try to distract yourself from it, which I think if I was in my mid-20s, I think that's exactly what I would have done, just throw myself into everything and probably drink myself into a stupor and like party hard and this and that. And like, I think mentally I know that I shouldn't do that, and I haven't been doing that. So like, I don't know, I've forced myself to like go to his, go for walks in the neighborhood where I would have walked him, sit in his favorite spots around the neighborhood and just kind of, reflect and, let myself cry when I want to cry. Like it's, I'm just trying to go through it, and it's all I can do. Scientifically, it's energy that gives us life. Science proves that energy just doesn't vanish. It goes on to another plane. Our life force is energy, so life after death in some form is not unfeasible. Yeah, like I believe, like I said, I believe in ghosts. I just don't know if I necessarily believe in heaven and hell. And my family is very religious, and like, I feel like most pet owners talk about the Rainbow Bridge, right? Like I hear it over and over again. Anytime any of my friends have lost a pet, they talk about it. And like me, I'm at the point where I'm like, if I have to hear the Rainbow Bridge one more time, I might, punch a wall. But I also know that I have to let my mom and grandmother grieve how they want to grieve, even if it hurts me, because they're hurting just as badly as I am. Like, I know it. I've walked in on my mom crying. I've walked in on my grandmother crying. And, I just try to... They've walked in on me crying too, and it sucks, because, like, I don't like people seeing me cry. I really don't. I hate it. And I don't like... Like I said earlier, I don't like people coddling me when I'm crying either. I just don't want to be touched. I want to be left alone. Yeah, drinking numbs the pain. You need to feel the pain to get through it. Exactly, which is why, like, I could very easily be going to the nearest bar and like just getting drunk and taking the pain away, but I don't. Like, oh no, I pat myself on the back for that, because like it's so easy that you could just do that. And I have access to like all these vices potentially, you know, like I could throw myself into every concert like I usually do for like social media, but I've even taken a break from that. I'm going to my first one since the beginning of May, this Friday, and it's really just to like support a friend that's really been there for me through my loss. He's checked in on me like just through texts and stuff, like, you know, the whole time. And I haven't really been able to like see him because I just couldn't face my friends, but you know, it's a really big moment for him as an artist. His album just came out and it's his album release party show, so I want to be there the way that he's been there for me. Now that being said, I don't think I will, you know, throw myself into every concert and capture it on social media and all that stuff like I usually do, at least for a little while longer, but it's a start, you know? Baby steps. Drinking doesn't fix the problem. Exactly. Like, you know, any vice is not going to fix the problem. It's just a distraction from dealing with the pain. And that's why I'm really, as much as it's hurting me, taking the head-on approach and just doing my best to face things head-on, and just because, you know, you got to get through it. I think one thing that's a little bit easier, there's these two dogs in my neighborhood that George absolutely hated. He, like, you know, to the point where, like, if he was in the window and he seen them, he'd be growling and barking, and like their owners, I don't know their names, but they would just wave in the window because they just expected it every time. But turns out they're moving, and honestly I'm glad, because, you know, I do see them going for walks, but it hurts because, like, I miss like seeing him go crazy when he's seen them, and like the times where he'd like show some restraint. Even though it's not GH related, I remember when on All My Children, Harold the dog went to heaven and it made me cry. Aw. There's a song back in the 70s that said, I want to go outside in the rain because I don't want you to see me cry. Classic R&B song. Went to the top of the charts. Oh man, you know what's funny is I love thunderstorms. Just because you can reflect, and it's weirdly peaceful even though it's like loud. But George was terrified of storms, and it would get on my damn nerves because I could never just watch a thunderstorm. I now had to coddle him, and the only way that he would get peace was like to sit in the car for some reason in the garage. That was the only way to calm him down. So I never got to really enjoy it, and now like he's gone, and it hurts that he's not around to go crazy and to try to comfort. Like, it hurts, like, and that's frustrating too, because, like, you know, I'm like, well, at least I can enjoy thunderstorms again. I can't. Hurts. Remember when Harold broke up with Janet and Trevor's wedding? That was hilarious. It's much more mentally healthy to face the pain and go through it. Exactly. And like, I'm glad, like, I know that about myself, and maybe it's because I've had hard times in my life, but I've never lost someone that I care so deeply about. I've lost good friends to things like suicide, but it wasn't ever friends that I was really close to. And, you know, family members that, you know, have passed on, and I didn't know them well either. So I've never had to grieve for someone that I truly love beyond, like, you know, my favorite artists that helped me get through things that have passed on. But even that, like, it's obviously not the same, like, but I think because, you know, I have so many people that have had a lot of grief, and they're wise beyond their years, and they've been through it. And I think, and I've always listened to any of my friends that just want to talk about it, because it's good to get things out in the open. So I think because I know of their experiences and what they dealt with and how they dealt with it back then versus what they deal with in more recent times, like, it's kind of given me at least enough strength to not do the easy thing, you know, to not like distract myself and, you know, work, you know. And I'm lucky. I have bosses that are very understanding, and, you know, even though I'm like, I make myself available to work what I usually work, you know, they put it out there, like, if you're going through a hard day, let us know. So like, I'm lucky in that sense, that if I have a bad day, I can do that. But yeah. Probably the small space brings comfort to him. I think also, like, it blocks a lot of the sound. Our garage and my mom's car is very weirdly soundproof. So like, you can still hear it a little bit, but it's not as scary. And all you gotta do is crank the music up, and he'll be fine. So, you know, and if it stormed at night, like, my mom's obviously sleeping, so I would just take her car, her keys, and then just like go into the garage with him and just sit there with him. All right, good night, Sandy. Yeah, I should actually get ready for bed as well. That's a good part about being younger. Your family is still here. When you get deep into middle age and people start dropping around you, it can leave you feeling so alone. My entire immediate family is gone now. I'm so sorry, DG. I knew it would end up this way because I'm the youngest, but my brothers went too soon. The oldest was just 46. Oh my gosh, that's brutal. Yeah, like, you know, my situation is, like, in terms of my family, I really just have my mom and my grandmother here, you know, like, yeah, my aunt's here too, but she's just as old as my mom. Like, they're in, you know, my mom's almost 6. My mom turned 60 this year. My grandmother, she's in her 80s, and, you know, who knows? It's such an unpredictable time of life when you're in your 80s. You just don't know if they're going to last another 10 years or another 2 months. So I'm always on edge with that, but, you know, I haven't had to face that loss yet. But I'm just glad that you know, the friends that have dealt with their grief, that, you know, I've heard their stories, and it's inevitably what's helped me know what I need to do to get through it, and it's just to face it head on. Life lessons. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to end it here, guys, because I could probably talk about it all night. It's like therapy, right? Like, you know, but again, I just want to thank you guys so much. You guys, the messages you guys gave me, so sweet, and I thank you guys all that reached out to me, just in the YouTube comments, and, you know, told me to take as much time as I needed. I appreciate that, and you guys are still here, so that's even cooler. But yeah, I will be back on Sunday, back to regular programming. I'm not going to recap all the 3 weeks that we've missed talking about, because I think like I said, it was boring. B, we talked about all the interesting parts already today. So this week we'll just talk about this week, and that's that on that. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. I will see you guys this Sunday. If you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. And I'll catch you guys at the end of the week. Peace out.